Hey guys, Heavy Arms 45 here. Y'all thought y'all got rid of me, didn't y'all? I know yesterday I put out two videos, but since it's the first day of November, I figured I'd go ahead and come out with another video, just throw it off at y'all, see what y'all think about it. And it's gonna go with the theme of what's going on this week. I mean, not this week, but this month. This month is getting all ready for Thanksgiving, time where families come together. We have a big meal. We all bring up dirt on each other. We all do this, and well, I ain't bringing up dirt and all this stuff, but at least what I'm gonna do is the idea that everybody says we're not talking about the engines and the Pilgrims and Plymouth Rock. You know, it's supposed to go past all that. It's supposed to talk about what you're thankful for. So if you're like some people, families, you sit there and everybody, somebody in the family, like, hey, say what you're thankful for. So I'm gonna say what I'm thankful for, and it's not gonna be the stuff that you normally hear when it comes to when you're at the table and the family try to eat quickly so they can get back to the football game or whatever they're finna do. Um, this is gonna be about things I'm thankful that deals with entertainment and let's just say entertainment for right now. And today I want to talk about. I'm thankful for comedians. A lot of y'all do know, not not even a week ago, John Witherspoon passed away. He was a hilarious person. I I went back and I watched a whole bunch of stuff that I have seen of him. I've seen him in Blank Man. Well, not Blank Man. Sorry, that's not the one I was thinking of. I drove myself off. I saw him in Meteor Man as he was Fly Man trying to take up for what Meteor Man did. I saw him in Boomerang when he was supposed to be David Allen Greer's dad. You know, I I'm looking at Facebook and I see people showing him as when he played Pops in on Friday. He was all these different things in all these different shows, and he was hilarious at it. And it's funny that I know he went around the circuit, doing comedy and stuff like that, but he's never had, as I've seen, like one of them movie specials. Like Cat Williams has had several specials of him, and Kevin Hart has had specials about him, and Eddie Murphy's had specials, and Chris Rock has specials, and Dave Chappelle got specials, and Monique has specials. He hasn't did anything like that. His thing seemed to be TV, but he's not the only comedian out there that has had like a great time in comedy. And there are a lot of great comedians that you don't get to see nowadays, like Nephew Tommy, Michael Collier, Scruncho. Those people I used to see back when I was watching Comic View on BET. Those were some good times for me. Used to watch. It went from having Cedric Entertainer being the head of it to it being. I hope I'm right about this. Tavis Smiley to it being Samoa. I'm sorry, Bruce, then Samoa. I watched them all, and I laughed. I laughed at them. I enjoyed seeing the talent that they had out there, and those were just a few of them. But a lot of them you don't see have specials. Like Samoa has her own specials, but I think the thing that got her name out there a lot more than some of the other ones was her doing the Queens of Comedy. I don't think that she had a not to say she didn't have a popular fan base, but she didn't have her own individual stuff until after she did that. And I think really when you go back to back and think about not a lot of people, unless you like really crossed over into the as they used to say, into the white part of entertainment. You didn't get a lot of people that did comedy shows like that. Like, if Red Fox didn't cross over, you wouldn't still be able to hear his record stay. Because back in the day, his stuff was X-rated. They had triple X on his stuff. Like, he was just... No one should listen to this. Without that, Dolomite is my name. You wouldn't have Dolomite, who he came out with some raunchy stuff. Even now, I'm like, whoo, cool. Just kidding. But, I saw Dolomite the first time, and I thought it was supposed to be serious, and I was like, this is a terrible... Then, after watching Eddie Murphy do Dolomite is my name, I was like, oh, it was supposed to be a comedy. And it made a lot more sense. And it was a lot more funny to me once I watched it at that point, because my dad had a copy of it. So, comedians I do enjoy, and I wish that some of them would get more personal time, because you get Bruce had him some time where he had a couple of comedy stuff come out, but he's still on. I won't say he's still on circuit. Lavelle Crawford had his time where he was on stuff, but one of the people that I really think should get a time where it's just him in front of a mic, like hurting your side from laughter for 45 minutes is Earthquake. I have not heard of an Earthquake special where it's just him. A lot of times when you hear about Earthquake, they got him with some other people. He's with like the Shaq all-star comedy show, the what is it? Lathan Productions comedians. It's always him with someone else, and that's how a lot of them go. Michael Collier has the same thing where if he does a comedy show, it seems like he always has some other people with him. I'm pretty sure he has some singles by himself, if I remember correctly. But a lot of times they kind of put them all like, okay, I don't know. It's kind of like you don't know if this person can hold up to it, but we know that Earthquake can do it because he's done it before. If you watch like some of the comedy shows that they do actually have him in, when he starts up there, people laughing, and it seems like to me when I'm watching the comedy shows, some of the people have a little bit more time. Like he has more time than some of the other people that they have up there. Or his jokes come so quickly that like time just seems to slow down. It just seems like somehow he's getting more time than everybody else, and it's cool because I enjoy it. But I know everybody's goal is, I like to believe that everybody's goal is to get out of the circuit. They want to get into doing shows and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how many of y'all have seen Harlem Nights, but in Harlem Nights, there was, you saw some of the more famous names, Richard Pryor, you saw Eddie Murphy, you saw Red Fox. Those are some of the popular names we knew of comedy because they were like the grandfather, father, and son of comedy. They kind of like stepped on top of each other to make to where they are now. I wish they could make a new Harlem Nights, like maybe not a remake, but maybe something a little bit after that time period. But I don't see it happening just because we don't have anybody young enough to play the same part as what Eddie Murphy did back in that movie. But that is besides the point. The point I'm trying to make is you saw them. You probably didn't notice some of the other comedians because it was like not all comedians, but it was a large group of comedian cast. Like at the time, wherever Eddie went, there was Arsenio Hall. So Arsenio Hall was there. some of y'all probably didn't notice that Eddie's brother Charlie was there, or if you did, good, two kudos to you. Some of y'all didn't know probably who Mr. Ronaldo Ray is. And the reason I call Mr. Ronaldo Ray, because when I watched him on Common View, that's what they call Mr. Ronaldo Ray. You know, he was the one who was making drinks and all this stuff. Then another person that was on there that was in comedy, and he had been in comedy for a while, was Robert Harris. Robin Harris. And some of y'all might not know who Robin Harris is. But if you ever seen Bebe's Kids, the main man is supposed to be Robin Harris. He was the one who came up with the Bebe's Kids, talking about test tube, baby. You know, he that whole movie was based on him. But by that point, I think he passed away, and another person played the character. But you know, if you didn't see him there, you saw him at least in the first. If you ever seen House Party 1, he was the dad in House Party 1. He was a comedian. He was a low comedian, but he was a comedian that made people laugh. And you know he was funny because they made a movie about stuff that he made jokes about. So it's always interesting and I'm thankful for these comedians, because if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have all the laughter I have. And my dad used to always, whenever we were watching these comedy shows, he'd be like, "Hey, did you get the message?" I'm like, "What message? This is just funny." You're like, "No, it's not just funny. Every time someone's telling a joke, they telling you a story. They're telling you a message. And you need to, even though you laughing, which laughing's good, you need to listen to what it's saying to you, what it's telling you, that what's the message they're telling you, because they're telling you life experiences they had." And my dad was always big on trying to make sure that the life experiences that you have is not just your own, but you don't just take stuff from learn from your own mistakes, but that you learn from other people's mistakes. Kind of like what all parents do. Parents want to make sure that their kids are better than they were. So a lot of times parents will try and tell you that you need to do this before something happens, so that once you actually get in that situation, you know what to do, and you're not in like chaos. Your mind's not in chaos, at least. But I enjoyed listening to these comedians as I grew up. And, you know, some of y'all might be like, "Well, why didn't you watch Def Comedy Jam?" I couldn't, one. And, yeah, I couldn't. Watching Def Comedy Jam would have been fun. I used to watch during BT where they kept trying to sell you on trying to buy the tapes, and yes, I said tapes. I didn't have CDs when I was growing up. I had VCR with VHS. When they were coming out, they were on HBO. The only TV in my parents' house that had HBO was my mom's room, my mom and dad's room. And the rule that they had was we couldn't watch anything rated R, and we couldn't watch anything on HBO or Cinemax. So whenever we were at home by ourselves, you know, we were watching HBO or Cinemax. But we tried to make sure if we were in there that they never caught us watch. But there wasn't anything racy or anything that we were watching. We were just trying to watch regular stuff. Like watching Class Act with Kid and Play and stuff like that. Like, we watched that. But we never was. Right around time Def Comedy Jam came on was about the time my parents were trying to get ready for bed, so we never saw it. So I didn't get the experience of seeing Chris Tucker or Bernie Mac on stage, or Martin Lawrence, you know, a lot of those people, I didn't see them till they had their own comedy shows when I got older. Come think of it, I don't think anyone from I don't think Bernie Mac ever had his own, like, just by himself comedy show. I want to say that he did, kind of like I said about Samoa before this. He had a lot of stuff where he was with other people, like I said, Def Comedy Jam and stuff like that. But when it comes to him being by himself, I don't think he did any. And I think in the end, what he did was, and I'm not looking this stuff up. It's not that I disrespect Bernie Mac or anything like that, but I just don't have internet right now. And I know that's weird to say. But I feel like after he did Kings of Comedy, because when he was talking in Kings of Comedy, the joke of how he was, they ain't never gonna give me a show because they don't. I'm so real, They're not gonna do this, and he was right. Back then, he was real. He was real raw, and it took them. I won't say it took a couple years, but they kind of like gave him a couple movies, softened him up, and then they got the Bernie Mac show, or the Bernie Mac show came and he got softened up, and then they started putting him in movies. That was kind of the thing with him. It was they softened him up, and then they put him on TV, and now he's like he was a softer Bernie Mac than what he used to be. I ain't saying that he went soft. I'm just saying that he saw a softer side. Like, y'all can't tell me that Ice Cube from the NWA days to Ice Cube now is the same person, because you can see where some of the places where Ice Cube, like, he kind of softened up on stuff. Not saying that he went soft, and I feel like I'm trying to defend this more than I need to right now, but yeah, I feel like I'm talking too much again. Okay, so yeah, I'm thankful for comedians, and I'll catch y'all next week with another thing that I'm thankful for. Catch you later.